Yes. Presence of which dissolves the delusion. Think of what is the presence. And always remember that. That is another way to understand Bhaj Govindam, presence of which the delusion dissolves by itself. You need not to fight. You need not to work on the delusion. You need not to, huh? Yes. You need not to work with a tremendous effort. There's no effort is required. It is just, you see the mirage water and you say, it's okay. I'm okay. You see, I have been telling you that when you drive your car on the highways, you see the highways is as if highways and the trees are running behind you. You know it. And once you know it, you are free from it. That is what is that presence? What is that presence? And why we are so much deluded in our life? So we have to sit down and contemplate and reflect. We pay too much attention, or we are always busy with the means. We never remember the goal of life. We are always busy with the means, but we never become aware because we are always busy with the means in life. So the goal of life is lost from the mind. What is the goal of life? Is the peace and happiness. And we know wealth cannot buy peace and happiness. We know the pleasure is short lived, and still I am busy with the pleasure. So, overemphasis by the mind. So, our masters have taught us we have trillions of desires. You can classify them into four groups. First is obviously making a self effort. So, when you are making an effort, you get some recognition, we get some wealth, etc., possessions. Um, and then second is all kind of a basic full meeting the basic necessities plus the pleasure. And third is the value system. What is the value system? That I should do right in the society where I'm living. I should do right and good to my family, to my relationship. And we are too much engaged. We give too much emphasis on the means to discover peace and happiness in our life. The final goal, Eastern wisdom introduces the fourth goal in the life. Not many people know. What is the fourth goal? Freedom from the suffering, freedom from the delusion, freedom from the ignorance. How many times you remember every day that my goal of life is freedom from the ignorance, bringing an end to the suffering. That is why I told you, presence of which, first, that I should be, my mind is aware of that. My final or only goal of life is freedom from suffering and awakening to inner peace and happiness. So every time your mind reminds you, the first three are not the goals, they are the means. I can bet you, if you contemplate every day and reflect every day, you think of it. Your mind every day in the morning calms down. And the entire day passes peacefully. It doesn't build the delusion, it doesn't build your ego. And you will discover there is an absence of delusion. In the absence of delusion, you will also discover there is an inner stillness, there is a wisdom, and there is a oneness all the time. All the time. Inner stillness is there, the wisdom is there, the peace is there, and your life, you see, the every day, every moment, your life moves into the peace and the joy and the happiness that is coming from within, presence of which delusion dissolves. Think of it. What is that? Presence of which the delusion dissolves. And presence of which the delusion takes over my life. What is that? Lack of awareness. First factor, you can say that lack of awareness. What is this lack of awareness? We can explain this lack of awareness. Many of us are simply unaware and do not fully comprehend the purpose behind the goal of life. And then what happens? The means becomes the goal of life. Means becomes the goal of life. Without proper understanding, the means are mistaken as ends. And there is a problem. Cultural influences. We have a tremendous cultural influences in our life over time. Cultural dilution, modern materialism have shifted focus more towards the two means, the wealth and the pleasure. My friend has gone on vacation. How can I say I have never gone on vacation? So I will go on vacation. I will come back. Then I will tell my friend that I have also been on vacation. Very small things. You see that it doesn't impact you, but it has a very deeper impact in your life. It creates a kind of a delusion that you cannot get rid of it. So cultural, societal, social influences are there. So we should separate what we should do and what we should not do. We have a temporal outlook. With a worldly temporal outlook, people get caught up in the immediate goals of the pleasure. Because they seem tangible. We forget the fourth goal, that is the final goal of life. Because if I don't remember, that very remembering is Bhaj Govinda. Because every time you remember, you are remembering, you are reminding yourself this is the final goal of your life, this is only the goal of your life, to live into that state, bring an end to the suffering. What is going to happen? Gradually, you will find that delusion drops, that egoistic demands drops from your mind, that being actually busy goes away. Many people write, to me, I'm actually busy. I know where are you busy. You are busy in ends of life, which you think that they are the goals of life. That is why you are busy. Otherwise, there is no reason that you are busy. Except you are in a flight, then you cannot attend the session. It's okay. Think. My master says used to use the word vichar. Vichar means thinking, conscious thinking. I'm in delusion, I don't think. Ego takes over. Delusion takes over. So temporal outlook also blocks the goal of life, and then it moves in a different directions. What glitters, I constantly change what glitters. The path towards the self-realization and requires a deep self effort. Self effort means it's a mental and emotional. I have to constantly think and reflect on it over a length of time. That is why our master used to say consistent, regular study, listening and learning, plus contemplation and reflection will help us remove the delusion. Delusion is not something tangible, it lives in the mind. Another way to get rid of this delusion, we glorify individualism. I think you all are aware of that. We want to glorify individualism, consumerism, hedonism. You know, the word hedonism is known as pleasure seeking mind. That blocks the very process of self discovery. It doesn't mean that you should not earn money. It doesn't mean that you should not go for a pleasure. But you give a break to the pleasure where it converts into a delusion, where the pleasure becomes the goal. Are you getting it? Where the moment the pleasure becomes the goal, you are in a delusion. Oh, what will happen? Nothing happens. So, what happens by all these factors? Mistaken identity, error in perception, affliction, emotional dependence on what is not. What is not? Lack of awareness of reality, emptiness, foolishness. That is why in the very first verse, Master says, get rid of this foolishness. A false impression or a belief. And it will always prevent us to realize what is peace and happiness, love and wisdom. It cannot go together. It covers the true nature. It covers my real self. It veils what I'm really. Delusion means that I do not know the true nature of the object and the true nature of the world. That is another way to put it. So I have to reassess, I have to re-examine the true nature of this world. The world is constantly changing. And when I don't know the true nature, it will definitely cause the worries, problems in the mind. Then it takes an attitude which is painful, which is harmful, not only to me, but also to the others who are living around me. It gives too much of pain. And that is why the master says it is foolishness, it is emotional dependence, it is intellectual paralysis, it is a fantasy. Buddha says that confusion, attachment, and ignorance, they all results into delusion. And they results into worldly pain. We are worried of one thing or the other all the time. So that is why this master says, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, recall, remember and relive, a recognition, a cognition. Cognition, what is that cognition? That presence of which, what is the cognition here? The presence of which the delusion dissolves. Presence of that awareness which directs me to know my real self dissolves the delusion. Every time you have an anxiety and duality, you question your assumption. You question that particular event. And you will see, if you question directly in line with the principles of Eastern wisdom, not in principles with modern science, it will not work. I have a heaviness, it is maybe because of lot of challenges. Now, let me see, is it because of emotional dependence? Let me think in that way. That will help me to get out of it. My friends, you have been attending these sessions. Now is the time to live in a higher awareness and enjoy your life, every moment of your life. False assumption must go. I simply accept them blindly. So when you accept them blindly, it will get rid of it. Bhaj Govindam. So before I go to the fifth verse, first verse says that remove the foolishness. How can I remove the foolishness? By non-thinking to conscious thinking that leads me to discernment and dispassion of a particular event, of a particular relationship at any point of time. And that is always available. It is always available with you. I can start thinking. Now I feel you hurt me, so before I react, let me discern. And when you discern, you see that hurt is not there. I've been telling you, if someone says you are crazy and you get angry, so you have already proved that you are crazy. You see, that is what the lack of awareness is. Ah, you're stupid. So you already, and then you get angry. So the first verse says that remove that foolishness from non-thinking to conscious thinking to discernment and delusion. The discernment and dispassion. DD to DD. From delusion and duality to discernment and dispassion. Even if you remember this, oh, I'm into anxiety. One young guy, he's very well built, and yesterday he called me that, I've been going to my friend's house and they have been inviting me, and there is a lot of problem. What should I do? I said, do nothing. No, but I'm concerned about it. No, I said, no, you need not to do anything. Because you are a friend, the moment you start saying anything, you will have more problems. Unless they ask you, they want a change, they want some guidance. Either you can tell or you can refer them to me. No, but I feel pain about it. It is because of your attachment. Be very clear. You are attached. How can you feel pain if you are consciously looking at the world? Why don't you feel there is a lot of problem in Israel and the Hamas, and there is a problem in Russia and the Ukraine? That is what I'm saying, that we don't act foolishly, because if I act foolishly, I will also act foolishly in my personal life. So that is the first verse. In the second verse, now say, the second verse says that devotion or worship devotion or worship, or just the higher consciousness in the form of a Krishna. No, it has nothing to do with any religion, cult, dogma, and belief. What is devotion and worship? It is a recognition of a higher consciousness within, beyond mind. That is all about prayer, even in all the religions. That I recognize there is a higher consciousness. Whether you recognize that higher consciousness is a God in a temple or in a church or anywhere in all the religions, or whether I recognize it within me. I need not to be neither to be religious nor to be spiritual. Eastern wisdom has nothing to do with all these classifications. Pay attention to this. That is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. So that is the second, devotion or worship. The moment you hear the word, you say, do I recognize a higher consciousness where anxiety is absent, where the duality is absent, where I'm calm? It means nothing outside is dictating me. That is what the higher consciousness. You have a situation outside which should have caused you anger, but you have an inner stillness. That is higher consciousness. Don't try to start imagining. Don't try to hallucinate. So simple. I'm making it very simple. Provided you are consistent and regular, then only you can recognize this. So be very clear. Devotion or worship, or include the prayer also, recognition of a higher how the higher consciousness comes because of the discernment and dispassion. What is discernment? You have separated, this is delusion and I'm here. This is the duality and it is I am here. Finished. And results into dispassion. And then check your state of the mind. You are already living into higher consciousness. You are free. When you are free, there and then, my friends, that is the beauty. Why I'm saying there and then, because you have been attending the sessions for years. You have become a higher seeker. So it is very important to understand that. And if you have been doing all those practices, one should avoid getting deluded by the attraction of the objects, people, relations outside. I have to see my mind is attracted. I feel something is glittering. Whatever glitters, it has an element of discomfort behind it. Oh, look at this beautiful. Who knows, this beautiful girl will slap you. So I have to maintain my awareness. So that is the third. Anything that attracts me. This car is very beautiful. I've seen among my friends, people are paying $600 a month. I'm only paying $300 a month. It will save you money also. It will save, definitely, I can tell you. It will save you money also. In every sphere of life, in every sphere of the life, if the Bhaj Govindam, you remember that Bhaj Govind. You're not getting attracted. No, after all, this is a branded car. I'm not branded, so I don't need a branded car. But yes, I need a car which has all the features. It takes little time, but I get it. A point of awareness. What is that? A recognition that peace is inside, happiness is inside. I don't get attracted by anything in the world outside. Tell me, tell me, make a list. You got attracted to 10 things in the world outside. Just pick up in the last year. What did you get? What is the result? Find out. What is the result? Are you still attracted to that? Are you still possessing those objects? Do you still remember all those objects every day? I'm getting attracted, whether it's a computer, or a smartphone, or your car, or your clothes. Delusion gives a specific value to people, objects, things outside. And you get carried away, you are attached. Then you feel pain. Why that person is not me? I have been loving him so much. Your love is attachment. That is why you feel pain. That is why you feel pain. Whether it is your son or a daughter, to be very frank to you, don't poke your nose. American values is in that respect is much better than Indian values. The parents are constantly changing their parents or their kids. No, you have to do like this, you have to do like this. Huh? Whoever? Rakesh still guides you? No. Rakesh is his dad, He used to attend the session. So I have to pick up the values which helps me to free from the delusion. That is what the third is. In the fourth one should understand that the life in this world is impermanent and full of suffering. Last time we took up, the water on the lotus leaf is very unsteady. Water on the lotus leaf. You see the metaphor? Life, my life in this world is very unsteady. Can you appreciate this metaphor by this master who has written this text almost 1400 years ago? The water on the lotus leaf is very unsteady. Why it is unsteady? The lotus leaf does not carry the water. The same way, the moment we are born, can I say we are born to die? Don't get upset. It is not pessimistic view. I am 5 years old. My life is 5 years less. I'm 65. So another 10, 20 years, fast forward. I'm totally giving you fast forward. Fast backward, what I have achieved, nothing. Fast backward, fast forward, what I will achieve, nothing. Buddha says that nothingness in the life. When Buddha talks about nothingness, it does not talk about the nothingness when you close your eyes. Our group with the Danis is more bent towards the Buddhism, but I'm not picking up those higher principles. Nothingness, how can you have a nothingness? The moment you have a nothingness in the mind, who recognizes nothingness? It means someone is present there. So the masses is there. The water on the lotus leaf is very unsteady. The life on the world, as if it is the lotus leaf, is totally unstable. Who knows? Today I have some problem. Tomorrow I have other challenges in my life. So if I'm attached to the world, it causes the mind to remain agitated all the time. I create a new normal in my life because of the habit, because of the heavy conditioning, but I live into that state of hesitation. I live into that state of anxiety all the time. And once you start interacting with the world, the delusion takes over. And once you return home, And then you say, this guy has said me, there's that guy. No, then you have disturbed sleep, and the cycle of the delusion continues. We are suffering. So we are suffering. You are responsible for the suffering, no one else. No one else is responsible for your suffering. Do you see it clarity? That's why I repeated all the 5 verses today. The fickleness of attachment. There is another way to look at it. You are attached, very good. Now see the unsteadiness of this attachment. I love you very much. And I say you are crazy, and then you are detached with me. It takes a fraction of a second. Tell me, you are attached to anything in the world. Why? I don't think. I don't consciously think. I carry the false assumption all the way into my life. That is responsible for my sorrow and the suffering. My friends, you have to get rid of this delusion completely. Can it happen in a day? No, it takes time. It's a slow and gradual process. Every time my mind lives into the mode of non-thinking, it will pick you up. Delusion will take over you. Then you think. Consciously you recognize. What I said, prayer worship, recognition of the higher consciousness. Oh, you remain little far. Let me see. Let me think of it. You recognize the fickleness of the attachment, and you are too far from that. You are free. You are free from there. When you are free, you are instantly free. Higher seekers can become instantly free. And they just, oh, I'm into the same state of the calmness and the peace. Then only you recognize that is the fourth goal of my life. Intellectually, you have understood. But once you repeat these practices, you live into that state during the day, then only you recognize, then your intellectual understanding results into an intellectual conviction. There is a clarity and conviction. And in that clarity and conviction, you give rise to a new level of awareness. You live into the higher level of awareness. And as you progress into the higher level of awareness, awakening takes place. Let us start. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, and you are comfortable, and you are comfortable and carefree. So you are a higher seeker. So I'm reminding you, being comfortable, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now your mind moves slowly, gently, softly, adjusting and aligning the body. And now the body has stopped moving, and you see all these thoughts, wandering thoughts, feeling, and emotions are separate from you. They are not you. You clearly see them. That states that state of the mind sets the stage to move into the higher awareness. Moving into the higher awareness, even by the mantra, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Just contemplate, reflect. May there be happiness for everyone, including me. Do I need to blame, complain anyone? What is that state of the mind? That state of the mind is higher awareness. Don't fall back into the hallucinations. It is so simple. Yes, for the higher seeker, again I'm repeating. Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham, Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham, Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace. For peace is a state of consciousness that is present in you when it is reflected in your mind on a vacation. You see that my vacation has been wonderful. I will again go. No, you need not to go anywhere on vacation. That peace consciousness is within you. This is the way you have to recognize. You have to listen to it again and again. Allow the mind to digest and assimilate this message of our masters. I'm not saying anything. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. You sit down every day for a few minutes. I'm complete in myself. And the mind then tricks you. Oh, I have to achieve this. And you say, I'm complete in myself. Achieving a particular thing to feel completeness is delusion. I'm already complete in myself because I'm of the nature of peace and happiness first. So, should I not earn money? I have already repeated. Keep on doing what you are doing. We are working on to change the mindset. We are not saying, Eastern wisdom is not saying that what you are doing, what profession you have, what profession to choose. Choose any profession that you like. But you have to change the way you work in your daily life. I know if somebody may find that today's session is very important. Obviously, if it is inspiring, Sarvesham, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Oh, may there be auspiciousness for all. So it means that existence on which the word appears always offers me the grace and the blessing. Why it has offered the grace and the blessing, my friends, we all are alive today. It is only because of the grace and the blessing. It is nothing to do with believing in God or not. I'm happy. I have a sound mind. I'm listening. I'm following the path of the wisdom. Is it not the grace and the blessing? We all are graced by the existence. You will find that all your worries and busyness drops down, dissolves down. And we will continue. We will continue with our breathing, looking inside the forehead. You're looking inside the forehead, my friends. You're dropping Om Shanti. You know how you are dropping Om Shanti. Don't forget it. Don't do it faster. Om Shanti. You have a pause inside. That, that tempo should go on with Om Shanti. But here you move into the rib cage and start breathing through the rib cage. Gentle breathing, quick and short breathing, expansion of the ribs, and the contraction of the ribs continues, my friends. Continue breathing. Now you can easily recognize if there is any resistance in the breathing, and I hope there is no resistance on any day. Every day you are doing the practice. What it means, when you don't have that resistance to the breathing, plus you experience the changes in the body, some tingling, numbness, vision, colors, let it happen. So you move the mind instantly into a new state without it. But even if there is a resistance, you endure it. Continue, my friends. Continue breathing. I'm keeping this breathing in the practice. Gradually, I will change. I told you that I'll definitely be changing that breathing, that practice, and the steps to help us go deeper. But I want you to have a consistency in the three-step breathing, and even at your on when you do it on your own, you can also do for a longer period to see if you can maintain that state. Continue breathing. Om Shanti continues, the steadiness in the body continues. You see the physical level, the steadiness. Emotional level, the Om Shanti. Energy level, breathing level, you are breathing. Also, at the physical level, you experience the expansion and the contraction of the rib cage. We should not do, we should not build a wrong relationship with the body and the breath. Sometimes people, when you inhale, you squeeze your ribs. No, you have to expand your ribs at this in this breathing while breathing in, and while breathing out, you contract. And stop this breathing, stop Om Shanti, look at the flow of the breath. If the flow of the breath is equal, wonderful. Pay attention to the flow of the breath. When you're simply aware of the flow of the breath, which is equal, you will discover a lot of vibrations around the spine inside the head. It is but natural. Another physical indication of breathing is physical indication. If the flow of the breath is equal, you make it sure that you are living in a higher way. No, no, it is not. I have lot of thoughts. You are not able to recognize it. And that is why the consistency in the practice will help you recognize and become aware of that. Looking inside again the forehead with Om Shanti, and start breathing from the belly, longer breath into the belly. You remember expansion of the belly like a balloon during inhalation, and contraction. You squeeze the belly. Continue doing it. It's a longer breath. And also check, are you breathing equally through both the nostrils? Our mind may object to it, and that is the resistance. We have to endure that resistance. Show the mind you are going into a deeper state. Come on, continue doing it. Again, through the contemplation and reflection. That will work. If you don't do the contemplation, reflection, the habitual mind will take over you and it will say, no, I don't want to do it. Continue. The mind say you are exhausted. We have been doing it. So one day the mind says I'm exhausted, I don't want to do. Delusion. Second days it says I enjoy doing it. No delusion. Third day it stops because of some other thoughts are coming. So we are, what it means, we are purifying the mind. Om Shanti, we don't forget to say, obviously we are purifying the mind. Inhalation into the belly and exhalation into the belly. Continue. At present, you're doing the belly breathing, second breathing in our practice. And also check that your breathing has an equal flow through both the nostrils. It is wonderful. It will happen. So you know all the signals and indications that you are progressing. And stop this, do nothing, being aware of the flow of the breath and experience the change. You may have the beautiful experiences, a sense of blankness and emptiness. Something is popping up into my mind. I should tell you that I have done extensive research on that in India to just tell you, and which is in the scientific research. When you're doing any kind of the breathing, you alter the breathing from the normal, habitual to another. Two set of nerves are influenced, peripheral nerves, and they influence the center of respiration in the brain. And the center of respiration in the brain is attached to the autonomic nervous system. So it shifts your entire dynamics of your mind. In turn, it helps your body and the mind too, your nervous system too. I can go on. I'm not look at the inside the forehead in the space, Om Shanti, and start breathing the third type of the breathing. You inhale very long, deep, first into the belly, then into the rib cage. You will discover that both the flow are almost equal. It is a wonderful state if you find during this breathing. It doesn't, it is not, we need to do it couple of more sessions to reach to that state. Please continue. Now stop this, do nothing, being aware of the flow of the breath, and you experience a lot of changes in the body, tingling, numbness, freezing, warmth, cold. They indicate your level of awareness also, or in other words, they help the mind to go deeper within. And at the same time, you pay attention to the flow of the breath. If it is flowing less on one nostril, you pay attention there to see in few seconds the flow of the breath become parallel, become balanced through each. And then we live into that state. That state also, that step also helps us to go deeper. And in that state, look at the 16 segments of the fingers and drop Om Shanti. So we have already understood dropping the Om Shanti with it's through the mind's eye, through the mind's touch, through the mind's ear, through the mind's tongue. So there is no movement to the tongue or the lips. Mentally, you are dropping Om Shanti at one segment. Your mind's eye looks and feels the touch, and then see. So we are, can I say one more thing here in this practice? We are awakening the unique faculty of the mind. We have many faculties of the mind. Everyone, has a different faculty. Some have imaginative faculty, some have, they become the painter. So we want to awaken one faculty of the mind here so that the mind can stay for a longer period in the meditation. That is that is one of the major goal of this Om Shanti. So even during the day, you can just pick up this practice and do it and see are all your sense organs withdrawn inside. Delusion is gone. And now leave that step, look inside the cave of your heart, visualize the triangle, equilateral triangle pointing upward of any color. Move the mind along with Om Shanti, the mantra on the each side of a triangle, clockwise and anti-clockwise. And once your mind says, now here is the sync, I got the sync and the harmony at that moment, Singing Om, push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. Mind seemingly, when you feel the mind seemingly stops, there you drop Shanti, self absorption, live into that state. Or you are in a state of doing nothing. You may remember the very any first session that you attend with me. I always say the last session is doing nothing. So I sow the seed there, and it has taken so much of time. So self absorption means there is no doer and the enjoyer. So you are in a state of doing nothing. Why? We will talk about it. Anytime, any moment, the mind wanders, go back to the triangle. So the mind recognizes, oh, I need not to get carried away by any thought. And then Shanti and self absorption. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both your palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. And if you have any question, you can ask question. How are you, Sam, sir?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Um, I'm really good. Everything was pretty easy. I would say I trailed off from the activities. I was very deep in my heart center. Um, the only thing I had an interesting picture come into my head of a couple of my friends, and we were eating food, and I stepped away for a second to go handle something, and I came back, and there was no food left.
Yeah.
And that's the
Okay.
story of my life.
Very good. Very good. How are you, David?
Um, Good, thank you, sir. The the lesson, as always, was brilliant. The fast breathing, my focus, my intention was the pause between Om and Shanti, and so at the beginning of the fast breathing, there was a little bit of a, adjustment with my mind, but soon it just adapted to that pause, and the rest of my meditation had that intentional pause between Om and Shanti on the breathing,
Yep.
and it just simple, clear, peaceful.
Peaceful. Yeah. Yeah. There is another there is another text and teaching which is known as the Shiv Sutra, which says if I become aware of the pause in the during the inhalation and exhalation, the mind goes very deeper and it is absorbed into meditation. So yes, gradually we rediscover a lot of things even which I don't talk, and that is a good thing. Wonderful, David. How are you, Samir?
Sir, today lesson was very good. And when you were speaking, I was listening. And that time also, I thought that my mind is going inside because
Good.
I was listening means I was totally into it. And
Very good.
meditation was also very good, sir.
Yes, yes. So I never spoke about that issue which he is reflecting. His sharing of the experiences might appear very simple, but what happens? The time came when I was listening to my master, my mind is already absorbed deeper within because that knowledge helps you to get rid of that delusion. So sometimes we have those reflections in our mind. So we need to, I'm just pointing out. So how are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. The meditation was really deep, but a sense of liberation, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
It's like if we're not attached to anything, then we don't have expectation, and it's kind of like in nursing when we would triage a patient. You don't have any judgment to what you're trying to find out, to figure out where to put them, what tests to run, how to diagnose what's going on. But if they withhold information, you can only do so much for them. And that's like our day to day. So if we don't have a clear picture of what is
Yeah.
from whatever situation we're in, we can only do what we can do, and that's it. And it's pretty liberating with that. It doesn't mean we don't care, but we can only do what we can do.
Wonderful. You have reminded me that instead of being judgmental, we follow the path of discernment. No judgment, there is only a discernment. So in discernment, there is no preferences of likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment. That's what you are saying. And so there is no judgment. And that is one way the profession, your profession had been. It's a beautiful way to put it. That's evolving. So let us go to Christina. Oh, Stephen has left. Yeah.
Thank you. Um, what landed for me today is the idea of nothingness and feeling that concept so much deeper, and that it's actually everything, even though it's nothing. And that each day, each moment of the day is, for me, about getting back to that place instead
Beautiful.
of the goal of the means that we were kind of talking
Yes,
about.
yes, you are evolving. Definitely, it shows that there is a constant conscious evolution. And that is what I have always been, uh, my intention has been to that. It's a wonderful. Thank you, Christina. How are you, Brandy?
I am good. I didn't have the same busyness in the mind as I did on Monday, and I really went deep into my meditation when you said the bit about achievement, because I realized that sometimes I even treat my meditation as like part of something I'm achieving for the day, which takes away from the existing completeness. And then I was
Yeah.
like, done.
Did you all hear what she says? You know, that intent which focuses on this practice will take me there. That intent should also go away. Let me do the practice. Are your Mondays still busy? So, it's so wonderful. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. I really enjoyed the lesson today. And I think what Jerry said, we can only do what we can do. I found that very poignant.
Yeah.
And
Right.
as far as the meditation is concerned, it was very deep. I saw swirls of color and very, very peaceful.
Beautiful. Yes, you have to remind yourself, every time. See, there's another way to say it with David, Jerry, and Brandy, and you, and Sad. Just say that, look at everything in the world, but say that, are you judging with preferences of likes and dislikes, or you are discerning? Your eyes, mind is still engaged with that object or that person. In one case, you have lot of preferences based on your past impression. In other, you don't have any preferences. You are spontaneous. You are ready to respond to that situation. Are you getting it? I believe so. So, Dennis, how are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Deep meditation, clarity and coolness to the top of the head during the last type of the breathing. And in fact, I noticed that the last type of the breathing is what my mind likes the most out of the three.
Oh, good.
Thoughtlessness at the end, with the simultaneous awareness that thoughts offer themselves, but the mind doesn't get involved.
Beautiful. That's another way of reflecting it. So it was a smooth ride into this journey. Yes, he says that the third type of the breathing, which means the belly and the chest breathing, is what he likes. And that is where we are aiming at. Just out of your information, I can tell you, if I modify this third type of the breathing, there is a modification required. And if you are doing it regularly, consistently, it is for the Samsar for about 6 months. So what will happen? Your body starts hopping. So those, if you heard of those things, they are true. but it demands a very intense and committed practice. I'm not going to tell you what happens by hopping nothing, just to show and demonstrate people. How are you? How are you, Terry?
Well, um,
You want to hop?
no, not really. I was balanced between inside and outside, difficult and easy. It's like I kept right in the middle. I didn't go all the way in. It wasn't difficult, but I did have some problems. And I just went through the whole, but it was easier than it used to be.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
was
it's easy. Oh, my friend Terry, you have to do it 5 times every day.
especially the breathing, I think.
Yeah. Especially the breathing and the Om Shanti with the 16 fingers.
Oh,
16
I just remembered when you said that. I kept like I would say Om Shanti and then I would forget to breathe. Then I would be breathing and I would forget to say Om Shanti. And I kept
So
telling you,
the
but I
more
know to keep them both going, but I was working with that problem.
beautiful, it will definitely help your brain. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, mind remained free. It was calm. Practice was good.
Good, very good. Practice was good and the mind continues to remain calm. Definitely, it is a wonderful state. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था सर। मुझे ना कई बार लगता है कि सरेंडर गुरुदेव के प्रति वो बहुत काम करता है। मुझे कुछ नहीं
Huh?
पता, मैं कुछ नहीं जानती और आप नहीं करना सब कुछ।
Yes, when you continue this journey, this tradition is little also puts you into a uh, pure emotional state. What is that pure emotional state? What she is saying that she completely surrenders or offers. It's the same thing, prayer and worship to the master, to our master. So that also gives you a state of deep self-absorption. So then what happens? Knowledge plus the pure emotion. And then first time you recognize what exactly is the pure love. We are reaching there step by step. How are you, Ashok? Why you are in dark? Maybe. Oh, there is no light.
Yes, there is some problem in my camera. So,
Oh,
but the lesson was very nice and I'm peaceful and calm. I have no
peace
question.
and calm. Beautiful. Please listen to it and also listen to how others have shared their experiences and just contemplate and reflect. And that is all for today. Yes, Brandy, are you coming to on 11th? We have a seminar. So anyhow,
To Jerry's house, that thing, to that event?
yeah,
I can't come to Arizona. I wish I could. Thank you.
You don't like this. It's okay. Thank you. No.
Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste. Thank you.
Everyone.
Okay, thank you.